There is a well-known Chinese proverb that says that the wise adapt themselves to circumstances as water molds itself to the pitcher. I think this has never been more true for leaders. The Flux report by Right Management says that 91% of HR directors think that by 2018, people will be recruited on their ability to deal with change and uncertainty, and also cites that 98% of organizations have experienced some kind of major organization change over the last 5 years. I bet you've experienced that too. We're in what they now call a Vuca World. The U.S. Army War College developed that acronym well over 20 years ago to describe what we would be like today. V stands for volatile, U stands for uncertain, C stands for complex, and A stands for ambiguous. So what can you do as an antidote to all this change in this VUCA environment? The response is to be more agile. And you can develop leadership agility. The first step is to redefine what you mean by leadership. And when we worked on updating the Whole Brain Business book last year, we looked at the whole world of research and literature on competencies to see whether or not there was a change. And what we found was that the 21st century leader really needs their whole brain to be effective. The competencies were distributed across all 4 of the thinking styles of our model. And I wasn't really surprised. And when we looked into our database to see who might have a more natural preference to be agile across all 4 of those quadrants, and that's only 3% of the population, we realized that CEOs were still the most frequently occurring occupation. The same thing as 10 years ago. Why? Because the work requires it. CEOs need to be able to focus on the numbers, the data. They need to be able to execute, make sure that things happen. They need to be able to connect with people effectively, and they need to be able to create that vision and build strategy. So you don't have to be a CEO to redefine leadership. You just need to understand how you can better flex your thinking. Look at the competencies that are most challenging for you today and start working on developing those before you get caught off guard. The second step is orchestrating agility. And that is building flexibility into almost every process you've got. Walk into every situation knowing that change will probably occur. And I find that the biggest complaint from people is, I don't have enough time. Well, one of the best ways you can deal with that is by creating a not to-do list versus a to-do list. So many of us are walking around with reports that we're creating, projects that we're doing that are carryovers from a time that's no longer really very relevant. So take a look at all the things that you've got on your list and knock off those things that are no longer really important. Third, you want to engage every single brain you have available to you. Diversity of thinking exists in every single organization I've worked with. But you need to engage that diversity of thought to be really effective. That will give you a wonderful toolkit for you to be much more agile as a leader. But you have to make the effort to reach out and engage those brains. Finally, you can future-proof your leadership by asking yourself on a regular basis one simple question. What if? By asking what if, you'll shift your thinking to a future orientation, and you'll be able to see around corners much more effectively. Wayne Gretzky, the well-known hockey player, used to say, I win because I go to where the puck will be, not where it is right now. So you too can build your leadership agility. Get started now. It will help you navigate this VUCA world that will continue to create change.